Hey guys, I'll do a blog video here just about what's going on. Some things have changed. So I just thought I'd shoot a quick video. First of all, I just recently sold my eye manifold, and because I'm upgrading to the iConnect. One of my viewers purchased it, one of my subscribers. I don't actually think he does videos, but he's a viewer of mine, and he's purchased the eye manifold, and I'm going to purchase the iConnect. Well, matter of fact, when I go back in the house, I have to place the order on TrueTech Tools. So, and big change. Tomorrow, I'm putting a new system on my house, and I'm going to try to film it. Well, I'm going to try to put a new system on my house because we have a high rain chance for tomorrow. So I don't even know if I'll get to do it, but I'm going to try. And if I do, I'm going to do my best to video it. I'm looking at my phone right now. We're calling for 80% chance of rain tomorrow. So we'll see what it's like when I wake up in the morning, what the weather's like, and then go from there. And I know I had said in a previous video that it was going to be a carrier, but it's not. This is something else that's changed. Recently, you know, it's hard to find good service at a supply house. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got 2 of them here in town that are really great to me. And, but, I've been doing some work, some sub work for another heating and air contractor about 20 minutes away from me in a different parish, which to y'all would be known as counties. In Louisiana, we call them parishes. And him and my dad go back almost 40 years. And they've known each other. The man he's in his 60s, his knees are blown out, and he just can't, he does nothing but repair work. And this is not the same guy that I was talking about in the Train to Pain video. This is a different guy. He had me go do a job for him about a week ago because he just couldn't do it. And well, no, I take that back. It's been more than a week ago. Yeah, see, I lose track of time. But anyway, so I did the job for him, and he basically what he's doing is he's gonna work the rest of this summer, but he's doing repairs only. Anything that's got to be changed out, he's calling me to do it, and he's actually giving the customer to me because by next year at this time he plans to be fully retired. So he's in the process of turning everything over to me, which is going to help my business tremendously because he has a huge customer base. I really don't know how I'm going to keep up, to be honest with you. I mean, if you know, if these customers start calling me, you know, all these customers he's got, it's going to be a load on me. So anyway, so when I'm over there helping him, he's like, hey, so, because before I get to that, we were both Goodman and Amana. Him and Dad used to sell Amana back in the late 80s, early 90s when Amana was Amana, before it was Goodman. And I met the man through my dad because we were all buying Goodman and Amana at the Goodman store just a few years ago, you know, when everything was Goodman. Well, he got pissed off at Goodman long before I did, and he quit selling Goodman. And make a long story short, he says, "What are you still fooling with Goodman over there?" And I said, "Oh no, I'm not fooling with him no more." He said, "Well, what are you buying?" I said, "Carrier." He's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, well, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but he said, do you remember, so-and-so from Goodman? I said, yeah, I remember him. He said, well, he started his own supply house. I said, really? I didn't know that. And I said, what kind of equipment does he have? He said, Tempstar. I said, oh, well, shit, Tempstar is the same thing as Carrier, Arco-Air, Bryant, Comfort Maker. It's all this. He said, yeah, exactly. And the old man was telling me, he said, that's what I'm selling now. He said, he gives me a heck of a deal on it. He said, as a matter of fact, he stocks my warehouse. I said, really? He's like, yeah, you ought to give him a call. So I did. I gave the guy a call, and I called him up. I said, hey, like I said, I'm not going to say his name. And I told him who I was. He was like, hey, man, it's good to hear from you. I said, yeah, you too. I said, I didn't know you had started your own deal. And he said, yeah, sure did. And I told him, about, I'm not going to say the old man's name that I'm doing work for either on camera, but I said, so-and-so said, you were taking care of him. He's like, yeah. He's like, would you like to buy from me? I said, yeah, I'd like to talk to you about it. He said, okay, well, I'll come see you in a couple of days. I said, sounds good. So he calls me a couple of days later. He comes on over to the office here, and we sit down. And, well, he gives me a price sheet. Very impressive pricing on Tempstar. And he says, would you be interested in me putting a bunch of equipment in your shop? I said, well, yeah. I said, but I can't afford to pay for all that up front. And I said, because Carrier had offered to put equipment in my shop, but I had 90 days to sell it. If I didn't sell it in 90 days, I had to pay for it. And I said, I can't afford to do that. I'm not a big enough company for that. And I told this guy the same thing with Tempstar. And he said, look, man, I don't work like that. He said, I will come over here. I will load your warehouse up with equipment, and you don't have to pay me anything until you sell it. He said, when you sell it, you call me with every piece of equipment, with the serial number to every piece of equipment that you sold, then you pay me. He said, you can pay me as you sell it. I said, really? And he said, yes. So I jumped on it, man. I mean, that's a really hard deal to pass up, especially here in a small town like that. And, somebody that's going to help me out like that, that means if I go to somebody's house and they need a system, and let's say I go on a late Friday afternoon and find a bad unit, and they say, man, can you come do it tomorrow? No, tomorrow's Saturday. I could say, yep, I sure can. I got the equipment at my shop. So I really like that. When he told me that he would load my warehouse up and pay as I go, pay as you sell, I mean, why wouldn't I take that deal? So I took the deal, and I'm rolling with it now. I put a Carrier package unit on that last video. I went with Carrier on that because on commercial Carrier, they're more advanced in commercial. ICP does have commercial stuff, but when you get into commercial like that, the Carrier store, they actually have better pricing than ICP on commercial. So that's why I went with Carrier on that. But it's very far in between that I even do a unit like that. I mean, I may not do another rooftop unit like that for another 5 years. The last one I did was that train that I put on YouTube, and that's been, I don't know, that was right when I started YouTube, and that's been 3 years ago. I think I've been on YouTube for 3 years. So, there you go. I may not do another one like that for another 3 to 5 years, because I'm mainly I'm pretty much strictly residential. But so anyway, so yeah, I jumped on it, man, and he hasn't loaded my warehouse up yet because we just got all the paperwork done. So right now, as I need equipment, and look, man, he's awesome. Carrier, their truck would only run on 2 days a week, Tuesday and Wednesday. If I had to work on that schedule if I needed something, not him, man. If I called him right now and told him I needed a system, he'd be here tomorrow morning with it. He doesn't care, and that's how we're working things until he gets my supply house stock. He's putting me together an inventory right now, an inventory list for me to look over to see if I'm happy with it. And then if I'm happy with it, I'll sign off on it and he'll come over here and load it up. Now I do have to sign a piece of paper that says, you know, I am responsible for the equipment if it gets stolen or damaged or stuff like that, which I'm fine with that. You know, I mean, I can, you know, I mean, that's just smart business for him to do something like that. So, and so, you know, Carrier, don't get me wrong, they gave me a good price on the system for my house, but nothing compared to the price that he gave me. I mean, let's just put it like this. It's a hell of a price. I mean, I'm not going to throw numbers around on camera, but if you want to know, call me. I'll put it to you like that. And, but he gave me, when he told me how much he could sell me, my house is a 5-ton, and when he told me he could sell me a 5-ton heat pump system and it's a 15 SEER single stage, because you know, y'all know how I am about single stage and all that, and 2-stage, but it's a 15 SEER. When he quoted me the price for personal use, I was blown away, and I told him, I said, bring it to me, and he brought it to me today. So I'm going to hopefully install it tomorrow. So, but that, I'm really excited about this. This is actually going to make, this is going to make my business a lot better. You know, I mean, this guy, my temp star man, is unbelievable. I mean, I've been with him for a couple weeks now, maybe a little longer. And I mean, his service is unbelievable. I mean, I call him for a replacement call, a warranty ICP coil. I mean, I called him at 8 o'clock on that morning and told him, gave him the model and serial number of the coil and told him it was under warranty and I needed a new one. When I got home at 3:30, the replacement coil was sitting in my shop. I mean, that's the kind of service he gives me. I mean, I don't even know what time he came, but when I got home, the coil was there. The replacement coil was here. I mean, the service is unbelievable. And that's the thing, man. Anything besides Nordyne, because I'm just not a fan of Nordyne because of the microchannel technology and all that. Man, look, I got a family to feed. You know, I got a wife, I got a 1-year-old son, and I got a daughter on the way. And, you know, I don't give a shit what brand it is. Tempstar, that's fine with me. That's ICP. That's still in the Carrier family. I love Carrier. I love ICP. I told y'all I was going to stay in the Carrier ICP family. And then when I found out that he was in ICP, that just made it even sweeter. Plus his service. Man, shit. I mean, I have no reason to look back. I mean, you know, this guy, the way he's treating me is just unfreaking believable. I mean, it's unbelievable, the service. And I'd be a fool not to roll with it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, anyway, guys, we'll hopefully get some video on the install tomorrow as long as it doesn't rain. And I'll keep y'all updated on the iConnect. I'm fixing to go in the house and order it from TrueTech Tools, and once I get it in the mail and get it here in use, and you know, I know we've all seen enough videos on it, but you know, I'll show it to y'all or whatever. But anyway, guys, I know y'all are all begging for a truck video. Believe me, it's coming, but the truck is a mess right now. I don't want to shoot a video on it because it's just it's a mess right now. Nothing's in place, and y'all know how it gets when you're busy. As soon as I can get it straightened out, there will be a truck video, I promise. The office here, man cave, whatever you want to call it, it's just about done. I got to tidy up a little bit, and then I'll get y'all video of this too. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.